Choices. I'm not going to read the subject, title, information to you. Is there for you. There's also multiple links there. So you go to it at your own leisure. I've chosen to do this live from my vehicle because I just finished a 4.82 mile walk. The very first walk I've done in months. It was a choice I made to push it, see how far I could go. So that when I came on here live, I will be speaking from the heart. Now, this particular live will be saved to my YouTube channel for a replay. The link is there. Some of the things I'm about to say you probably heard before. So let's get into it. Every day we're faced with choices and challenges as to who we'll hang with, who we'll ride with, who we'll associate with, business-wise and personal. Every day we're faced with different choices. We all know this. And those who know me know that I'm a very passionate person about some of the choices I have made. And I hope you are likewise very passionate about the things you believe in. Things you're going after. And there will be hiccups and there will be setbacks and there will be all sorts of things that will come along and challenge you to make certain choices. I ask you, I challenge you, I request of you, therefore you make any decision, like before I make a decision, to make sure that those decisions are not rooted in things that you've been fed over and over again throughout your life completely. If you have time to think over things, before you make a decision, think over them. Pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Like I took several deep breaths when I was out pushing that walk today. Pushing it. Because you see, sometimes life's choices pushes us. Sometimes people come out of life that push us, challenge us. And sometimes we ask for certain things to happen and we ask for certain people. And when they show up, when these situations happen, we like, nah, not today. I'm being pushed too hard. This is too much for me. I can't handle this. We go back to those things we have been taught over and over again. For the brain, our brain is designed, I believe, as a defense mechanism against things that challenge us. I've listened to a lot of speakers. I've done some reading, and according to science, that's how we have this defense mechanism that kicks in. Is like fear. Fear is a defense mechanism. Here's the thing about fear. On the other side of fear, it's usually the things you desire the most. And some of us choose to say, well, I'm not afraid and I'm going to go this way and I want to do that in the right time. As I speak, as you speak, as we breathe, time is moving forward. So when is the right time to go after that which you desire? There are a lot of talented people in the graveyard, y'all. There are a lot of talented people in retirement homes and rest homes and in hospitals, y'all. There are a lot of talented people that are not unemployed, y'all. Gifted people, skilled in their craft, seasoned people, all social economic levels. Because if one thing, COVID-19, the pandemic, one thing, if it hasn't taught you yet, that nothing is solid, secure, and stable. If you do your research and go back to the epidemic of 1918 and other crises that have hit humanity on a global scale, many of which we came out of, people got a wake-up call. COVID-19 should have been a wake-up call. It is an ongoing pandemic. Regardless of how you perceive it, believe it, or see it, or reason on it. It's ongoing, and it's real, and it's taking people's lives. And it should have been a wake-up call that nothing is solid and secure. No job, no relationship, no day-to-day grind. The wrong association may lead you down that road, and you may get sick, and you may not come out of it. So the choice you make today, the choice you make today, I hope will be one where you choose to live your best life. Now, I've been hit throughout 2019 and 2020 and into 2021. I have been hit with, well, where are you at, Alfred? What have you done? Look at where you're at. You're doing this, and this, that. By people across the spectrum. I made the choice years ago that I will not go to my grave with a lot of regrets because of poor choices I have made. And as I walked this morning, I listened to different motivational speakers. They talked about this time period we're living in. And it's, in my opinion, one of the greatest times ever. For as one poet once said, there are times that try men's souls. There are good times and bad times that try men's souls. Women's souls. COVID-19 is such a time. We can sit back and make excuses, or we can sit back and accept the challenges of this time we're living in. We have the choice each and every day, y'all. We have the choice each and every single day that we are giving opportunity to rise up, breathe, to choose wisely. Now, my definition of wisdom, your definition of wisdom may be different. But here's my part of my definition is I choose not to live a settled life. I choose to live a passionate, purpose-driven life. My present day circumstance does not define my future. My situation tomorrow, the end of the day, tomorrow, the next day, God willing, will not define the next coming moment. If you measure things in this life, I choose not to measure things in this life based on what I can see. Always. Is that a choice I made? Yes, it's a choice I made. A choice based off of me listening and feeding my mind on information of positive people that have been in places worse than I have been. If I choose to measure myself by where they have been. Some have been homeless. Many of them have been jobless. Some of them have had all their savings wiped out as they pursued their dream. You can read about some of these people. I'm not going to go down the list of them, but there are many. You can do your research. You can Google their names and find their backstory. Choices. I challenge you not to choose the what ifs. What if this happens? And one day I get this, and I can't afford to risk this job. I can't afford to risk this relationship. I can't afford to risk this opportunity, this to go after that over there. My car is acting up, but I can't afford to go out and do a side hustle to get this going, to get it repaired, because, in time, God's going to fix it away. Yeah, God will make a way. I don't doubt that. But in the midst of our choices and challenges, I throw this out there for you. This is a biblical story, a biblical narrative. You can take it as you want, literally or fictionally, or however you choose to take it. One that's commonly taught in Christianity about this guy named Peter. Peter was in this boat. He saw this other guy named Jesus, according to the story, walking on the water towards the boat. The supernatural being Jesus is a supernatural form walking across the literal water. And Peter cried out, basically, can I come to you? And so quite often the narrative is taught that it was a lack of faith on Peter. I choose to see it as like a focus. Because at some point, walking across that water towards that supernatural manifestation of the Christ, he took his eyes off. He lost focus. When we lose focus, we make bad choices. We make choices often to our detriment. God knows I've made my share. I'm going to make some more before the day is over. I know I am. But how well do you bounce back? How well do you respond to these? How well will I respond? Being a passionate, purpose-driven person, I picked myself up. I kept going. I realized I've been doing XYZ for the last few months, and my health is starting to take a turn this way or that way. And it shouldn't go this way or that way, because when I was exercising along with the better eating habits, I was feeling better, doing better. So I made a choice to lay in, relax, feed my mind, feed my spirit, check out social media, send some good morning shout outs to some people, and get my butt up and get moving when the fog lifted here in Greensboro. It's fairly cold out here, y'all. Probably one of my coldest walks ever. And then on my way back to my vehicle, it started freaking snowing for a second. I'm like, oh God, I don't believe this. In my heart of hearts, it'd be like, call an Uber. But then I realized, call an Uber? Nah. I realized back in the early part of the summer, I took a real bad fall. That's what I realized. I was about a mile or so from my vehicle. And I took the fall. It ripped some holes around my knee area. There's some scars on my elbows, my hands. I was doing a balancing act. Well, testing my balance out. I lost my balance on the object that I was walking on. I fell. So I went in my wallet. I got the Band-Aids I used to carry, and I patched myself up best I could. And I completed the walk through the pain. How bad my knee was damaged, I have no idea. It healed itself up naturally. But it took a few weeks because one of the cuts was really deep. I made a conscious choice to push through the pain and discomfort. Accept it as part of the process. We never know the outcome of anything that we're pursuing. We never know the outcome of our best efforts. But how would you ever know the outcome if you don't push through the uncomfortable moments? There are a lot of talented people, poets, writers, builders, designers. I know a lot of them. In COVID-19, during this period, I've heard very little of it from them, some of them. Choices they've made for whatever reason to go silent to a certain degree. Me, I pushed. But I've come across this amazing business partner. Yes, it's an oil agreement, but she's in another state. Kimberly Denise. But she pushes me to stay focused. So I will do what Peter did and begin to sink. I've coined a phrase for us. I'll bring people to the edge and she'll push us over the edge. People over the edge in their thinking process. Some of you may have seen some of the live streams we've done. We're coming into 2021 with a Facebook group. The link is there. Go ahead and sign up for it. Get it out of the way. Send your request and join our group. So we can go into 2021 regardless of what COVID-19 does. With words of encouragement, words of empowerment, words of enlightenment. Tell our stories in a setting where we'll be safe and secure for the most part. Nothing really is secure, but as best we can with the settings within Facebook groups. And build each other up, empower each other, enlighten each other, and share each other's stories. So when there are days that choices need to be made, perhaps you can go back to somebody else's story. Say, wow, this person got through that. This person went that way on this one. Because there's a common spirit among all of us. As I mentioned the word spirit and Peter walking that story, I'm going to go back to faith and fear and playing it safe. It amazes me. It still amazes me. I don't even know why it still amazes me and shocks me that the number of people who profess Christianity, and the aspect of Christianity that talks about faith, well, it amazes me the number of folks that can quote the definition of it according to Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1. It amazes me the number of people who are choosing a normal day-to-day existence, who walk in fear of losing their jobs, in fear of losing a relationship of some kind, whether it's a friendship, partnership, whatever it is. Because what happened January 6th here in America, this insurrection, I've had to block some folks, unfriend some folks. There's a conversation with some folks who's shown their true colors. Folks who have chosen to idolize a man. I'm going to say there are no perfect politicians, but when there's one who quotes Adolf Hitler, does things like Hitler did, or other dictatorships even in our present time, I have to let you go. So those who push Illuminati theories here, I have to delete your post. I don't unfriend y'all because you're entitled to your opinion. I just don't want that kind of stuff on my news feed. Because I personally believe there's there's great powers behind the scenes controlling things. But I see them as being spiritual more so than physical. They may manifest themselves as physical. I don't know. Some say that's beyond my pay grade. I'm one who believes in spiritual warfare, emotional warfare. I'm working on my own emotional IQ right now. Every day I work on it. Be more understanding, more patient, more empathetic. Listening, still ain't quite there yet. I've been told I know it all. I have to always be right. I heard that stuff so much for the last 2 years. And someone said, if you hear that much, then it must be true. No, it's not. Just I operate, as I talked to my business partner, Kimberly, creatives like us operate on a higher level. Either you are pushing yourself there, or you're accepting us pushing you there, or you're trying to rise up there. The average folks, we choose to work our jobs, do what we gotta do, but we see faith in the sense that faith is bringing us things beyond what we can see. We see it as producing things beyond our fears, anxieties, our worries, our concerns. We see that faith in action that others profess to have, but who choose to see it in baby steps instead of bold steps like Peter. And yeah, he lost focus. But those of you who know the narrative of his story, he regained focus and became one of the greatest writers of text there ever was, according to biblical history, with the powerful words of encouragement. He's the one who wrote the words, beware, your enemy the devil walks about like a roaring lion seeking to devour someone. You can take that any way you want to take it, but I'm going to take it in this context right now. Beware. Life circumstances come upon you and I, forcing us to make choices that are uncomfortable. Choices, beware, life circumstances come to us that want to make us quit when we are just one step away from that thing for which we desire. I, for one, have no problem letting go. Good morning, Miss Rosalind. I have no problem letting go of folks. No more. Is it my personal quest desire one day to be married again in this lifetime? Yes. I value that institution or committed relationship. I value that connectivity. Has it happened yet? No. Has it come close a few times? Yes. That area of my life, I operate on a higher level of thought, not seeing where I'm at, but where I'm going and what I can contribute. But on the other side of the coin, a man of vision needs a woman. A man of dreams needs a woman of vision, and vice versa. There has to be a pushing that can be uncomfortable at times. Much the same as our professional relationship with Kimberly. It's a pushing at times. Or she said to me in conversations past, I need you to stay focused, Alfred. You stay focused. See, challenges come. They'll always be here. Working a regular job is a day-to-day thing. That's part of life. I don't know your dreams. I don't know your aspirations. I don't know what you want to do. But I do know that the choices and challenges you face, if you make them based on what you already know, in that comfort zone, nothing will ever grow there. You will never come out of there. You will operate in that space and you will achieve certain things, but you'll never achieve your best life. So if you dare talk to me on any capacity one-on-one outside this live screen, and we have a conversation, and we go deep in our conversation, and you point out the realities of life, I would say, F you, basically, in a nice way. Now you have to turn it in a nice way. Because the realities of life does not dictate where we want to go and what we want to do. How our dreams and our aspirations will become a reality. What? Think about it like this. For those of us who like Tyler Perry, if he had not pushed through his dark moments, been homeless, went without, invested his tax money, pushed in his dreams, the things that we enjoy about him that he's produced we would never know of those things. If he had chosen to quit, because he did not have what people say you need to have to live. Ain't one of us have never had some setback in life, but if you look at that setback as a setup for the next thing, then you are one who I can engage with, associate with on or offline, build with and grow with on different levels. Personal, business, whatever. But if I have to walk alone at times, I will walk alone. That 4.82 miles this morning I logged in was an alone walk. Going was easy, but coming back, the snow started falling down. It's gone now, y'all. The temperature started dropping. The wind got blowing a little bit. I felt the chill. Then I'm like, why in the hell am I doing this? I thought about the pain I was in the other night when I started having muscle spasms. I thought about how I've been eating better and doing better, but I haven't been exercising, stretching it out. So I did it this morning. My choices led to a situation I don't want to go through again. I may go through it again. My choices, not exercising, not stretching, not doing what my due diligence led to it again. Regardless of what age you are, the choice of taking care of yourself mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically cannot be overstated enough by me or others. Choices and challenges will be here. COVID-19 has taught us that nothing is guaranteed. Some of us have lost loved ones to this virus or complications associated with it. Others among us have seen things blow up exponentially, personally and professionally, on all levels, because we've tapped into the four. We've worked on the spiritual, the emotional, the mental, the physical, as need be. Everything I mentioned here in this video, I'm very personal about. I believe in wholeheartedly. Some have asked me, well, Alfred, what about your podcast? You haven't done new episodes yet. So I haven't. It's listened to in 5 countries. I just checked the numbers on it. People are picking up on it, finding and replaying the episodes like they do with podcasts. If I'll come out with some new episodes, yes. Some with my business partner, Miss Kimberly Denise, yes. Some solos, yes. Subjects, yes. Perhaps some new guests, yes. But not right now. There's enough food there, mental food there. You go there and find something that will sow into your spirit and touch part of you. I know it is. Regardless of where you live at. My podcast life is about more than living. It's on still 11, 12, 13 platforms. This is a year of crossing over. I said it in 2019. I said it in 2021. People ask me, what does it mean to cross over? What it means to cross over is to do the day-to-day grind that you need to do, but not walk in the fear of losing stuff, being without stuff. You may say you're not afraid, but yes, you are. You don't want to have a person that is not willing to step over into something different and go hard at it. They're afraid. The definition of fear, one of the definitions of courage is not the absence of fear. It's basically a willingness to pursue that which you know you can do, despite of. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up like this. The things, my choices I've made, I'm comfortable with them. Someone asked me, are you happy where you're at? I'm extremely happy where I'm at because happiness is not associated with the things. The place I'm in, my happiness is associated with my mindset, my spirit, my heart, as they interact with other people close to me, those who sow into my life and I sow into their life. There's a song that says, you don't know my story. This past week, some of my co-workers who I kind of didn't see eye to eye certain things, I've heard their stories. I see them differently now. I'm going to do my best, and I challenge you to do your best to pay attention to people's stories if they're open to sharing them with you. The person you see may not be the person you think you know may not be the person you know until you start talking. So wrapping this up, I challenge you to open your mind up. Acknowledge who you are. If you haven't heard that, so step beyond your fears. Admit them. Admit that the one day maybe it's going to happen, God going to do mentality, that kind of thoughts. Those are excuses that will hold you back from getting where you want to go or in a level, whether it's in a relationship with someone, like dating towards marriage or dating or commit or whatever, whether it's in a business venture with someone, whether it's a business venture with yourself where you have to educate yourself and train yourself. Like I shared with Miss Kimberly about LinkedIn Learning. There's a whole thing to the LinkedIn app and website called LinkedIn Learning, where you get certificates and learn skills, business skills at your own leisure. To improve your resume with certifications that the business world looks at. Forming a relationship with people on LinkedIn after you get these certificates and you study what you want to study and pass the courses. Who knows that relationships may come out of that will take you to the next job level, next career level. If you're doing what you're doing, you're passionate about what you do, it's a side thing you do, then I salute you. If you're willing to go all in and sacrifice whatever for some dream that seems impossible to the eyes of most folks, I applaud you. Go for it. Don't be held back. Partner with those who have a vision and are purpose-driven. I encourage you. Partner with those who are passionate about what they do, who have a purpose-driven, who realize that we live in an age of the internet. Don't just realize that, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Don't just say, those are things, but I'm not comfortable with them. Realize that these platforms are the new places to operate in. We're a global community. If what happened January 6th in the United States Capitol happened back in the years past, times the news media got it out to us, we would have known about social media, got it to us live, on point, been all over it. The FBI be using social media and people coming forward exposing folks. We operate in a different world. It's not going back to where it was. You can choose to play it safe, take baby steps, and lose out on people and opportunities. You can step over to the unknown and be focused, be purpose driven. Knowing the challenges and changes going to come, because COVID-19 has exposed that beyond any other time. But like any time I've seen, challenges and changes are going to come. It'll hit home. Don't be afraid, y'all. Acknowledge your fear, your weaknesses, your shortcomings, but also acknowledge that where you're at is probably the best place in this thing called life you can be at. This is your season. Be blessed, y'all.